Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Patty Ann here, and we are ready for class number 3 in Stitch Artist Level 1. So as you can see, I have my Embrilliance screen open here, and what I'm going to talk about just briefly for a moment are objects, which you'll notice on the right hand side of my screen over here it says objects. And when you put things there, for example, I just put an object over there, the lettering object. Or I can come here to the create mode and maybe draw a circle as an object. So now we have a design, we have letters, and the second thing we have is in the design is a line. I can draw with points by coming over here and just clicking and drawing with some points, and hit right click when I'm done, and there we go, another line. I can do a fill by coming over here, and maybe I'll get a different shape this time. And I'm going to make it a fill by clicking here, and we're going to go more in depth in these things. This is just a real quick little overview. So here this is, and there it is filled. And these points can be moved so that you can change the orientation of your stitches. So let's ignore this for right now. So we're going to start with a fresh sheet. So today specifically, I'm going to be talking about drawing and drawing with points. And I'm going to help to clarify what these different points are. Maybe you've been confused by that. And at the end, I'll show you why you might want to use draw by points. So while we have the create mode open, we're able to come to this icon right here, and it says draw with points. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to begin drawing with points. Every time I click, I'm adding a point, and I'm drawing with these points. All I'm doing is left clicking, not doing anything else. When I get here, I can come up to this little tomato looking guy to close or open, depending if it is closed, the outline. I'm going to close it. So since I had fill selected right here before, it filled it just like that. So let's get rid of that for a second, and let's start again. I'm not going to do fill. I'm going to do a run stitch, which is this one right here. And I think I'll do the draw with points, and I'm going to pick a prettier color. There we go, the Floriani Zephyr. And I'm going to begin drawing with points again. I'm just going to draw, just left clicking, and left clicking, left click, and then I'm going to right click to end it. Now, the reason why I'm doing is I want you to see the points that are on this now. If I'm in create mode and I click on this, you can see some little nodes that have been put here. Now, if you'll notice these nodes, and I'm going to scroll in, you'll be able to see that they are solid with no line through them whatsoever. That means they are a particular type of a node or a point. And that means that I can go up, click on this one, and then rearrange, redesign it. Notice when I click on it, two little handles come out. When I move these handles on this type of node that is solid like this, when I move one, the other one moves, almost like a teeter-totter. Watch. See, when this guy goes down, that other guy goes up in the sky. This guy goes down, up, the other guy goes down. This is called a curve. So we are doing a curve right there. See, it's curved. If I wanted to change it to a curve, I could change it by right-clicking on it. So here's another one. Let's look here. If I highlight this guy, notice that I get two handles here, and again when I move one, the other one moves, and this is a curved node. Here's another curved node. When I move one, the other one moves. Okay, those are curves. Now I'm going to draw another line, and this time I'm going to hold down my shift key. And if you'll notice, these nodes now, they have, or these points, they have a line running through them. Remember this group up here, oops, forgot to end it. Let me draw that again. So I'm going to hold down my shift key, down my shift, And look what's on my cursor. You can see what I'm making are the little points with the little line in the middle. Those are the ones that are called cusps. And I'm going to show you what those do. One more, right click to end it. Now remember up here when we clicked on a point or a node and it made like the seesaw effect. It was a curved node. These on the other hand, check this out. When I click on this, oops. When you double click, you get rid of one. I clicked on it. Notice I have two handles. When I pull this down, it makes the hill. However, when I take one of the hills, they work independently of each other. This one's going to go up. I can make this one do something else. So it's not a seesaw at all. This would be the seesaw here. Here are the two little fellas. There's a guy here and a guy here. If it was a seesaw, when I made this one go down, this one would go up. Similar to what happens over here. These are the curved nodes. When I pull on this one, this is the seesaw. These are curves. When this one goes down, that one goes up. See that? On the other hand, there's this one. This one, click on this. When this one goes up, nothing happens to this one. When this one goes up, nothing happens to the other side. These are called cusps. So we have a cusp, which are the one circles with a line through it. It's easy to tell. And we have the curves, which are simply circles with no lines through them. And we have one more. So we'll do this. And I'll do a run stitch. And this time I'm going to hold down my control key. So what that's making is it's making these things squares. Check that out. So we had circles, plain circles filled in. We had circles with a line through it. And now we have a square. What do you think is going to happen when we mess with the square? Right now, what we've had so far is we've had a plain circle with no line through it. We've had a circle with a line through it. And now we have a square. What do you think the square is going to do? Let's check it out. So a square doesn't give you any points at all. It just makes things in perfectly straight lines. By the way, if I want to add one here, I can double click and it adds one. Double click and it adds one. So in the same way, I can double click on a node that is there and it will be removed. I can double click to add if there's not one, or double click to remove on one. So if I don't want this hill right here, I can double click to remove this. And if I want something to come down like this here, I can double click to add one and then stretch this down here. Okay, so you might be thinking, hey, you know, Patty, and this is terrific, but what in the world do I do with this? Why do I care? Well, here's an image that I brought in, a cute little mushroom from Creative Fabrica. I'll have a link for it for you down below if you want to practice along with me. So right now I brought it in. The way you bring it in into Stitch Artist Level 1 is make sure you're in the Create mode. When you're in the Create mode, you'll see the word Image over here. And then you will just browse to wherever your image is and bring it in. Okay. So the next thing that I like to do is I like to make it so my image isn't quite so dark. It's easier for me to tell where my stitches are that I'm placing. So over here in the Objects panel, I'm going to click on the word Image. If it comes up down here in the Properties panel where it says Color and Bitmap, which it will, you want to go to where it says Bitmap. And notice the transparency slider here. You're going to slide it to the left so you can still see the mushroom to trace it, but it's not going to hinder your view of your stitches. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to the Draw with Points, and I'm going to do a fill stitch. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to fill, I'm going to work from the back forward. The first thing I'm going to fill is the inner part or the underneath part of the mushroom. I do want to change the color of it, so I'm going to make it, these are crazy colors. Let's see, I think I'll make it a pretty tealy color maybe. That. Okay. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start making this thing. I'm going to click right here. I'm going to hold down my shift key because I want this to be a cusp right here, or like a corner. Remember the shift, you cusp, shift. Then I'm going to let go and just do some rounded points. Remember now when you're doing the curved points or any points, you don't want to put that many nodes. Less is better for this. But I am going to click right here by holding on my shift key again because I want a cusp. And then I'm just going to say close it. Okay, so I don't really like how that was closed. Let's see if I could start this again. I'm going to hold down, just going to click here, hold down my shift for a cusp, let go, and hold down my shift again to cusp or corner. And then I'm going to come way down here. And actually what I can do right now is that line tool that I said I don't use that often. And that's holding down the control key. Come down to here. It makes a very nice straight line. And then I can close it off. Okay, I forgot to have the fill stitch selected there, so I'll fill that. Now if I look at this, I can see that it's not quite exactly where I'd want it to be. So I'm going to turn off 3D so I can just see the stitches. Then I'm going to come, let's scroll in. I'm going to scroll into the selection. There we go. And I'm going to double click on this. See the nodes that come up. I'm going to stretch this down. I want everything to go inside of this black line here. So I'm going to click on this node. Remember, this is a curved node, so it's going to give me two different handles to play with. I can move this in a little bit then and move this one out. I could actually add another one right here if I'd like to. That makes it easier for me. And maybe I want to add one right here too to make it, oops, a little easier. Okay, that looks terrific. Let's turn on the 3D now and see how that looks. That looks great. I'm just leaving the fill as it is. So let's go back out and do this side. So again, I'm going to come to my draw with points. I'm going to do the fill. I'm going to use the same color that I had before so I can check it here. I'm going to start here and I'll click. I'm going to use a curve, remember, so it's going to be a round curve. Then down here, I want a cusp, so I'm going to shift and cusp. And then I'm going to curve. Let's see, I think I'll shift and cusp. Let's see what happens. And I'm going to do the straight line here. So that's the control. And then I'll end it. So let's see what we got. We need to fix this a little bit. Now, you know, there might be a better way to do this. I'm just showing you one way that I do it. So I'm going to move this start button way down here. And let's see, where was the end for this? The end was there. Okay. So now I'm going to fix this. I'm going to click on this node and using my handles, fix that. So notice it's coming into that black outline now. Here, I think I will add a node by double clicking. And let's scroll in a little bit. I think I'll come over here again and I'm going to scroll into the selection. There we go. Click here. Add one, move like that, move this down a little bit, move this down a little bit. See how perfectly that is working now? Very nice. And again, I can add the 3D. So let's scroll back out and see. We have two. This should be 3D as well. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've done the under part of the mushroom. Now I think I will next do the stem of the mushroom. So I'm going to get a different color. Well, first I'll get my draw with points, fill. I'm going to change the color to something crazy, I think. One of these greens. Fluorescent green. Okay. And then I'm going to start, but first let's scroll in again a little bit. And come up a little bit. Okay, so I think I'll start right here. Again, I have fill and draw with points. Gonna go down here, click, 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 and here I think I will hold down the shift to make a cusp, and I think I'll end it then here. Okay, there it is. Okay, it doesn't look that great. Again, I can change these. I want them to overlap some because of the pull and the push. So at this point now, I think what I need to do is I need to turn off 3D so I can see how well this is doing. So come up here and turn off 3D. Okay, to me that looks really good. I can change the inclination or the way in which the stitches are going if I'd like. So I'm going to change it so they're going like this, kind of running the way that it would in a stem. And I think that means I will move this down a little further like that. Okay, and the inclination from these was from side to side. I think I'll make it, these are the yellow dots like this, and this one like this. No, not like that. Wait, that's not looking right. Okay, what the heck? All right, let's turn on 3D and see. There we go. Okay, that's the way I wanted it. Okay, so let's scroll out. We'll go to hoop. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, the next lowest part is going to be the outline of this mushroom. So I'm going to do draw with points, a fill, and this time I think I'll make it the color an orange color. Tiger. Okay, so now again I'm going to start here and just start clicking around, just regular clicking, because these are all pretty rounded, not sharp points. Now here I'm going to do a shift because I'm going to do a cusp, and then some more of these, and down here, and then I'll just end it by hitting the tomato. And okay, I didn't change the color. I guess I thought I had. So let's change this color to an orange. I'll just leave it like that. Now I'll make it pink. Okay. Okay, now as you can see, it's not going all the way to the edge here or here. And once again, I can turn off 3D so that I can click on this and see my little nodes and fix them how I'd like. There we go. Okay, that's looking really good. Right here I can see that I'm going to have an issue, I think, because they're not overlapping at all. I like them to overlap a little bit. For this project anyway. Okay. That looks really cute. The last thing I have to do is I need to do the little circles here. So this time, instead of doing drawing with points, I'm going to come over here, right here, and I'm going to choose the circle. And I think I'll make these a bright orange. So I'm going to come to color, I'll make these a bright orange. Paprika. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw one. I want to do it as a fill. I'm going to draw one and it's going to fill. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this easy on myself. I'm going to copy and paste, drag one over here, copy and paste. So basically I'm just showing you how to use basically the draw with points, although this is not draw with points, but similar copy and paste, and copy and paste. And now let's put this on 3D and see how this is going to look. Really cute. I love it. All right, let's watch the stitch out. I have it on fast. Okay, so to watch the stitch out, you click on the little needle here, and it brings this ribbon of thread colors up, and then you can click here if you want to go stitch by stitch by stitch because you want to change something, or you can just click this and it will go automatically. No, I haven't done a test sew of this to see just where I need to fix things, and of course I would do that if I was actually making this a test sew to see is it doing exactly what I like. But my main point today was to show you the different types of nodes that you can get. Isn't that cute? I think it's adorable. Again, the link for that will be down below. But once again, let's go back one more time, go to a new page. So if we draw with points, we go to create, we draw with points. We can draw with points like this, right click to end. Then I'm given these points that have that are round, right? That are totally round. And when I take these points that are round, I can move these handles, and when they're a circle just like this, they are like a seesaw. I can double click on this line to add another node or another node, or I can double click on one that's there to delete it. So that's these nodes. Okay. Okay, another thing you can do with these nodes is this. Let's see. Okay, so we have these nodes. You know they're round circles, and they're the curved nodes because the line is going through it from side to side. I can go ahead and change this node by clicking on it, right click, and change it into another type of a node. So now I've changed it into a cusp that has the line that goes up and down now, and as a cusp I can change one side or the other. So again, this one right here, let's click here, this is a curve node. If I do something to one, it works on the other one like a seesaw. That's the curve node. If I want to change this to a cusp, I can right click on this and click on cusp. Now when I use one of these handles, it just changes one handle or the other. The next one we learned about was doing draw with points, the run stitch, and these are cusps. Remember, with cusps, sort of sounds like cuss. Gonna hold down your shift key. Okay, shift. So I'm doing cusps now. Notice the difference in these. They have the line like this going up and down. That lets you know it's a cusp. And with these, when you move it, it doesn't move both parts, both parts of the line. It's not like a seesaw anymore. If I click on this, I have two handles. I can move them independently. Remember, independently I can move these handles. Okay, and the last one we learned about was the line. Again, draw with points, run stitch. This time I'm going to hold down my control key, and notice my cursor has those little squares, and you might want to use those at some point. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to continue making these videos for you. I'm enjoying it immensely. I'm learning along with you sometimes. If you have any questions, let me know about them down below. Also, you can ask questions by emailing team PattyAnn@gmail.com. So again, thanks for joining me. Check out my links down below. I sure appreciate it when you guys use those. Helps keep Patty Ann's Place going. So bye for now.